And we're back. Welcome back, everyone. Very excited for this video. Today we've got the Olight Warrior Mini 2. All right, so it's finally here, the Olight Warrior Mini 2. Been waiting for this one for a while. A real big fan of the original Warrior Mini. The original came out, what, 9 months ago or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Maybe a year.
was very impressed with their first attempt at the Warrior Mini, and had a couple growing pains with the new one, with the Mini. So they went back to the lab, I suppose, and came back with the new and improved Warrior Mini 2. And so far, I'm pretty impressed with the changes that they've made to it.
Yeah, I definitely like the 2 better than the 1. The 1 that I have the copper version, and like I've said in previous videos, I don't think it works quite as well for some reason as the other guys. Perry has the titanium, Zach has the aluminum, and it's just the light output is a little bit less on this for some reason. It's not much, but it's noticeable. But the new one is definitely brighter, and it's got a tighter beam. So if you'll notice on this one, it's got the silicone tail cap cover that Olight sent out to everybody. If you bought one, they'd let you get a refund on the light, or you could get the covers and O bulb. I have had an instance where, or several instances where this turned on in my pocket, and it wasn't because the button was depressed, but it was because of something metal touched that. So normally I do carry it with that on there. I haven't had that thing like, you know, burn me or anything, but it definitely can. I've held it up against a blanket while I was sitting on the couch one time, and it lit it on fire. But the new ones fix that issue with a proximity sensor. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this on camera, but that's full brightness. And then when you come in, and it happens quick, let's see if that's better. It dims down so that doesn't happen. Also, one thing that I like on this, and Zach has it in the orientation that it comes, but you can switch the pocket clip around to where it's deep carry and the tail up. And I like that setup much better than bezel up. Just never been a fan of that.
Yeah, on all accounts, I'd say that they did everything they could to improve the original, which I really like. I really like the original, but just being able to make it, being able to switch the pocket clip is definitely a good thing. And that proximity sensor is really impressive too. With it works so quick that it's hard to even notice it doing it. But that's definitely something, you know, paying attention to detail of, you know, what issues we had with the first one, and then being able to correct that. And so I've been carrying this one for a week now, and I think in the pocket, having something turn it on, I think it just happened once to me, only the one time. But so far, I haven't had an issue with that, because I'll carry it tail switch down, so it'll have stuff in my pocket. So haven't had that issue yet.
Yeah, that was the issue with me. If I had my keys in my pocket, they'd start rubbing on here, and sometimes you can get it to do it if you put a piece of metal on there and like rub back and forth, it'll cut on, and then the other times it won't. I definitely say the original Warrior was a great light. Definitely had some flaws that Olight addressed themselves with the covers, and then also if you wanted to, you could return it. No matter if you like pre-ordered it or if you bought it the week before, you could get a refund on it once that memo had come out. I believe they both use the same battery, but the bezel on this one is a little bit deeper, I guess to take care of that proximity sensor. But as a result of that, the new one has a much tighter beam than the old one. The old one's pretty much straight flood. It's not quite as much as the Seeker, but much more than like the M2R, which is one of my favorite lights. But this, if you're going to carry something every day, that fits in the pocket really nice.
So it's slightly taller, not really enough to feel a difference in your pocket, but I would say enough to feel a difference in your hand. I feel like it's more substantial get a better grip on it when holding it. This one just seems real small, like it almost gets lost in your hand. And at first, wasn't too crazy about the design. Like, oh, it looks different. I like the old one. But then after having it for a week, I think it does look a lot better, and just aesthetically.
Yeah, when I first opened it, I was like, how did they take so much weight out of this thing? Because I was used to having the copper one, and it weighs a lot more than the aluminum. So just to give you a couple specs, not going to go over the whole list, but you can look those up if you want. But critical things for me is beam distance. I can always, tell if I'm going to like a flashlight or not by the beam distance. I'm not a huge fan of floodlights in general. The beam distance on the old one is 623 feet. With the beam distance on the new one is right at 100 foot more at 722. This is 1750 lumens, where this was 1500. And I think you can tell that difference for sure.
Yeah, and so about the output, as expected, you're coming out with a new one, you would want brighter light with a greater distance for the beam. One thing I will say, I don't know how, if it's better or worse but notoriously the original did get quite warm, and I'll say the same thing with the Mini 2. Still gets hot when you're running it on turbo for an extended period.
And that's one thing too with the copper. I feel like it gets a lot warmer than either the aluminum or titanium. I mean, not necessarily a flaw of the flashlight. You bought a copper one, you get what you pay for. One thing that I'm a little disappointed at with the two is Olight's always had like a desert tan kind of color, and this is not that. This is more like it's very similar to copper. I'd say like burnt copper brown, or it's definitely not desert tan. That was a little bit disappointing to me. It's darker and more copper.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like a true desert tan or the Olight's desert tan, just keep in mind that that is different. So there you can kind of see the difference. This is very much copper.
Very shiny.
Yeah, compared to the old style, which I really like this color. I don't hate this color, but it's not my favorite.
So additional things that came with the Mini 2 is you got this little O-ring, I guess we call it, for hooking on your backpack or something like that. And it came with a little, I don't even know what you're going to call. I guess
it's like a clip.
Yeah, a clip that you put on. You hang it. I don't know. I don't really have a use for this, but maybe you'd find that interesting.
I mean, I like the light a lot. I think that's kind of gimmicky. I took mine off and moved the clip up so I could carry it bezel down. They say that's like a thumb ring or something. The carabiner itself is pretty cool. I put it on my keys, but I'll never put that on the flashlight.
So overall, very impressed with the Mini 2. Of course, I really love the original, and I just say that the Mini 2 is just an improvement in just about every area, and very happy to carry that around. A great EDC light.
If you have the Warrior Mini, I would definitely still recommend getting the Mini 2.
And if you don't have the Mini, still recommend the 2. It's great, great light.
And with that said, appreciate it, guys.